I'm Yaneli, also known as Miss Be Helpful, with another FinCap Friday brought to you by NGPF.
The Federal Reserve Bank of the United States raised the federal funds rate by 3/4 of a percentage point in mid-September of 2022. They announced this bump of 0.75%, which brought the rate to a range of 3 to 3.25% total. Now, this is a big deal, and it was all over the news because back in March of 2022, the federal funds rate was close to zero. Jumping from 0 to above 3% in just a few months has made for the Federal Reserve's fastest policy adjustment since way back in the 1980s.
We have got to get inflation behind us. I wish there were a painless way to do that. There isn't.
Those were comments from Jerome Powell, the chair of the Federal Reserve, who has inspired many memes after his speeches. Content creators and influencers on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter break down his speeches and help their audiences understand his messages. To put it simply, the Fed raised interest rates in 2022 because they were trying to slow down inflation. You know, the rising cost of everyday things like food, gas, and rent. Well, not some foods like Costco's classic hot dog on their food court, which has been the same price since back in 1985. But that's not the norm. Most food items have higher price tags today than they did many years ago, and rent has been on the rise as well as gas prices. But let's not forget the rising cost of things that we don't see or think about on a daily basis, like the costs to move a shipping container around the world. But this does raise a major question. How is the Federal Reserve raising interest rates supposed to decrease inflation? Well, the Fed has two primary tools that they can use to try to influence the economy, and both of these tools can actually impact inflation as well. The first thing they can do is increase or decrease how much money is available and flowing throughout the economy. And number two is they can cause interest rates to go up or down. Now, the reasoning behind increasing interest rates is that it becomes more expensive to buy things using credit. So because of that, less and less people will have a reason to go out and get a loan to buy things that they want or need, like a home or a car. And so that means that there will be overall less transactions in the economy. And in theory, that slows down inflation because the economy will slow down. But the federal funds rate does not directly control the interest rates that we get when we apply for loans or credit cards. It influences how much banks and other financial institutions will need to pay to borrow money from each other. And if they have to pay more, you better believe that they will be charging us more to cover their costs. Mr. Powell says that delaying this whole process is only going to lead to more pain in the future. So even if interest rates increasing in the short term will hurt us, that might be what's necessary for the economy to recover in the long run. But what do you think? Do you agree with this reasoning, or do you feel like there might be other creative ways that we could keep inflation under control?